Hello my friends and welcome back. On this tutorial I'm gonna show you some theory first. Syntax. Keep in mind that JavaScript borrows many things from C and C-like languages like Java and Perl. That's why it is a case-sensitive language, which means that if we have an identifier with the name test and an identifier with the name test with the first T capital, these two identifiers are completely different. And if we have another identifier with the name test with the first and the last T capital, this identifier is completely different from the previous two. So please keep in mind when you use identifier to be careful with the syntax. Identifiers. What it is an identifier? An identifier is a name of a variable, a name of a function, a name of a function argument. Okay, and they can begin with an underscore and then the characters that we want, or a $sign and the characters that we want, or just a character and then the characters that we want. We can also use numbers and symbols, but not as a first character of a variable name. For example, we can use this name, my array, and I'll do 1, 2, 3. This is completely acceptable. So, comments. What are comments? When we write JavaScript code and we want to keep some info or some track in order to know what we do inside our code, we can use comments. Comments come in two ways. Like C and like Java, there is a one-line comment and a multi-line comment. One-line comment, it begins with two forward slashes and then my comment. Comments are completely, let's put it inside the script in order to see it better. So, comments are completely ignored by the interpreter and it continues on the next line. This is a one-line comment and the two-line comments begins with a forward slash and an asterisk and ends with the opposite. If I press enter here, I write this is a multi-line comment. You can see that on lines 28 and 29 and 30 there is an asterisk in the start at the start. This is nothing important. We can omit the asterisk. It is added for better readability. I can delete the asterisk. As you can see, nothing changes. And then I can have the document writer len with my message. Okay. Let's go to the statements. Statements in JavaScript end with a semicolon. Ends with a semicolon. If we forget to add a semicolon, it is not completely wrong, but it is not recommended because it is error prone. So if we create a variable with the name sum equals a plus b and we don't put a semicolon, it is valid, but it is not recommended. What is valid and recommended is var diff equals b minus a with a semicolon at the end. We need to say the interpreter where our statement ends. These statements are one-line statements. If we want to use a multi-line statement or a multiple line statements, we can use them we can put them inside a curly brace. For example, if we have an if statement, if true, we open a curly brace, and here we can write our code. For example, sum equals a plus b and counter plus plus. If we have one statement after if, we can use it hello. We can use it like this without curly brace. It is correct, but it is not recommended. Even if we have one statement after the if, we have to use the curly brace in order to know where our if ends. This is not completely correct. We don't create new variables into if. Let's see how we create and how we declare variables. Variables in JavaScript are loosely typed, which means we don't declare, when we create a variable, we don't declare the type of data that it is going to hold. For example, I use the var operator and then the variable name. For example, my var, semicolon. Here, I just created a variable with the name my var, and I didn't give an initial value. If I omit an initial value, JavaScript gives a special value to that variable, which is the undefined value. So my var has the value undefined. The correct way, when we define a new variable, it is also to give it a starting value. It is called initialization. For example, my var2 equals 100. Now I have defined the variable and I have initialized it. On line 49, just because my var2 doesn't have a specific type of data that it holds, we can convert the value to a string. For example, my var2 equals hello world. It is accepted, but it is not recommended to change the type of data that variables hold. I have to mark that when we use the operator var in front of the variable, this means that we declare that variable as a local to the scope that it is created. For example, let's create a function say hello, okay, curly brace, and inside the function let's create a msg variable with the name hello. Okay, I created a variable with the value hello inside that function, and outside of the function I call the function say hello, and then I call the alert in order to show the msg value. That is going to produce an error because I have created the MSG with a local scope into that function, into the say hello function, which means when the interpreter goes on line 56, the variable MSG has already destroyed. It doesn't exist. Let's save and refresh our HTML page to see what happens. Okay, I refresh. Okay, on line 56, as you can see, when we try to alert the MSG, we are getting an error, uncaught reference error. MSG is not defined. MSG is not defined. This means that this message means that we don't have created the MSG. Okay, because it has a local scope into that function. If we want to correct that error, we have to omit the var operator. If we don't use the var operator, it means that that variable it is global. Okay, we can use it in the whole HTML page without any problem. Let's go to our HTML and refresh to see what happens. Okay, everything looks fine, no error messages and hello message pop-ups. If we want to define more than one variables into one statement, we can use the var operator and divide the variables with a comma, like this. Var msg equals hello, comma, age equals 20, comma, country equals Greece, semicolon. So we have created three variables and we have also initialized them. That's all for now, my friends. Thanks for watching.